Right, good afternoon and welcome back. As you have already heard, the South African Reserve Bank has cut interest rates, and it means that the repo rate has been cut up to 6.75%, and the cost of borrowing right now is 10.25%. Now, focusing on consumers, as we already know, South African consumers are not known for their ability to save money. In fact, many of them spend their hard-earned cash on flashy cars and entertainment. So the Reserve Bank's quarterly bulletin has revealed that the savings rate in South Africa is currently at minus 0.3%. And even the few who do save are not investing in growth assets that can beat inflation.
A lack of financial literacy is causing many South Africans to make wrong decisions when it comes to their money. Conspicuous spending and immediate gratification are stopping consumers from investing some of their money. Consumers use about 74.4% of their disposable income servicing debt.
The reason why we have a low savings rate for households in South Africa is simply because we've been a consumer-driven economy. So we love spending, and the consumer has been going out to really spoil themselves for many years. We've bought things we really can't afford sometimes and spent a lot of money on things like entertainment.
Although the savings rate is low, the stokvel industry, on the other hand, is booming and is worth 40 billion rand. Many stokvel members save money in bank accounts and do not invest in growth assets that can beat inflation. Experts say many South Africans take funeral cover and belong to burial societies rather than making investments.
Very few of our stokvels today are doing upgrades. For instance, they will be saying, let's not only look at doing the traditional business of funeral policies, of sharing monies, after every 12 months, but we need to go beyond that now. They are diversifying, which is important. They diversify in the sense that they're now looking at long-term investments. They are looking at your Cetrix 40, which falls under your exchange-traded funds.
Proper financial planning is not only for those who are wealthy. Unit trusts, exchange-traded funds and the Cetrix Top 40 are just some investments which offer growth with minimal costs.
Putting money in the bank for long term is the only way to make sure that you will get poorer, because interest you will earn on a bank account won't even beat inflation. And over a 5 or 10 year period, you need to beat inflation to make sure your money grows.
With a high interest rate environment and increasing inflation, the cost of living has become too expensive for many. But experts say most people still buy things they cannot afford.
People have made bad decisions because of lack of knowledge. So yes, we have to admit that a lot of people have not known how all these things interact in terms of debt, savings, interest rates, etc. So financial education is important. We've also had a situation where the economy is struggling right now.
Do that monthly budget and include yearly expenses, and you can divide that by 12, and 2, make sure that when you take on debt, you can afford the debt, and also 3, make sure that if interest rates go up, because if interest rates go up, your debt costs more, you can afford. If interest rates come down, it's a benefit, and in some cases, what happens is those costs come down. For example, if you've got a bond and we get a rate reduction in the next day, bond costs will be down. People mustn't take that bond cost down. They must actually continue paying the same amount that they were into the bond, and if possible even save more in their bond, because that is the best way of saving, because you're using what we call after-tax money.
The current economic recession is expected to affect the value of investments, and that this may produce negative returns in the short term, but consumers are urged to take the long-term view when they invest and not pull out when the going gets tough. Naledi Matlapeng, SABC News, Johannesburg.